Welcome back. Ford has announced a temporary halt in production of F-150 Lightning trucks because of some battery issues. They say no new trucks will be produced at least through the end of next week.
The company says they found a battery issue reported to have started a fire in a truck on the production lot. Joining us now for more insight is Mike Martinez, a reporter for the Automotive News. He's on the Ford beat. Mike, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
And so when you look at this situation, we hear about recalls all the time. Just how serious is this one?
Well, it's very concerning, right? Anytime you're dealing with an electric vehicle and a battery issue that can start a fire, you need to be worried about it. But at this time, Ford says that anybody with an F-150 Lightning in their driveway shouldn't be worried. There's not an issue there. This is really isolated with one vehicle in a holding lot in Dearborn that caught fire, affected a couple other vehicles next to it. They've determined the root cause of that issue, but for now they're trying to figure that out, get the plant up and running, ideally by the end of next week.
So they're saying there's no impact on the vehicles that have already been sold, because they started being sold, what, spring of last year?
Exactly. Everybody that has a vehicle should be fine. All the vehicles on dealer lots right now should be fine. The issue really is just impacted with those in transit to dealerships and those at the plant right now.
But do they have a bigger issue now just with reputation? These headlines cannot be great. Even if you read the fine print and you find out the cars on the lot are fine, that can't be great for sales over the next year or so.
It's not great. You see the Chevrolet Bolt had a battery fire a couple years ago that really dinged GM's reputation and really its sales in terms of EVs for a little while. Ford is the #2 EV seller in the U.S. They want to keep growing this year. They have a lot of plans to ramp up Lightning production. If this snowballs into anything more serious, it could definitely hurt them.
But you don't think right now it's a big factor in their reputation and knowing that you can rely on Ford?
Not necessarily. Obviously, it's not good, right? But anytime you have a new product, this is still a relatively new product, with new technology, you're going to have issues. Unfortunately, you don't want anybody to get hurt here. Nobody has. You just want to make sure you can keep it contained and fix it as quickly as possible. Keep in mind, this was not discovered by a customer or anything. This was discovered in a quality check. So in a certain sense, what the company is doing is working it. Was able to find this out. Now they just have to get it fixed.
It was a successful quality check.
Yes.
So what does this do just for electric in general? Obviously, many automakers are moving in that direction, but this kind of news could not only give consumers pause and concerns about maybe buying their first EV, but do you think it could potentially sway Ford to slow down, pump the brakes?
Not at all. Obviously, if it snowballs and becomes any worse, they would take the appropriate actions, but they have a lot of plans. They want to get up to 2 million electric vehicles globally by 2026. 600,000 by the end of this year. 150,000 of those are Lightnings. So they're all in on EVs right now. Again, in terms of customer impact, anytime you buy a vehicle, you want to do your homework, make sure it's right for you. No different with EVs.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio says he wants Ford investigated because they're partnering with China. Do you think Ford should be worried at all with all of this going on?
I think there's certainly some concern there from a political standpoint in terms of their new battery plant with CATL, it's a Chinese company. Wondering if a lot of this isn't just political posturing. The way Ford set up the venture is that it's going to be a wholly owned Ford subsidiary. It's going to be their workers. They're going to own everything. But right now, China sort of has the market cornered in terms of battery cell production, the production of these minerals that go in our vehicles. So we're reliant on them for a lot of that. The point of this new plant, the point of this setup, is to wean ourselves off and to start building things in the United States. Ford's very conscious of the political risks here, and that's why they set it up the way they did.
So is there any concern about that plan? I mean, that's a lot of potential jobs. It's a lot of money, a few billion. Do you think this throws a wrench in any of those plans?
At this point, there is no indication that it could delay or stop any of the plans there. Again, a lot of political posturing right now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mike Martinez, for joining us tonight to talk about the issue going on with Ford right now on the F-150 Lightning, a very popular vehicle, of course, on the road.